Oh, well, minus Fox and Renzo. They named it Fox, and I just saw them. There's a couple of new episodes of Ducktales, so I wanted to review them. These were The Spear of Selena Gomez and Beware the Buddy System, which basically quick one of basically the Spear of Selena Gomez. Basically, the group lands on a mythical island, which apparently is where the gods and other people used to go for vacations, such as Zeus and them. And for some reason, Huey still doesn't believe in magic, and then he's like, this island shouldn't exist! And it's like, really? There's a lot of things you were meaning that probably shouldn't exist. But, yeah, they land on this island. Apparently, Webby and Dewey planned this, so that way they could try to find out the mystery behind the Spear of Selene that Huey's mom took. Huey, Dewey, and Louie's mom took. They basically go through these bunch of these different caverns, each going to the wrong chamber, until eventually they do find the Garden of Selene. And basically there is a cool the moment where Selene, the goddess there, the goddess of the moon, basically goes up and says, hey, I know your mom. I thought she was going to be here because I made a whole awesome puzzle or whatever. And they go, no, she's gone. And basically the whole thing is that Huey at one point doesn't actually want to figure out if her mom was good or bad, because if she was a bad person, then that's something he now has to live with, not knowing that she wasn't a hero. But Selene goes, no, your mom was a hero. She was awesome. Here, she even had and he gave us like the spear of Selene, the sphere of Selene, which is a small crystal ball that allows Huey to see memories of his mom. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. And there's a touching moment where, he hugs Webby and stuff like that. Even though at one point, Huey was literally going with the whole rather be ignorant. I'm like, that's a terrible. Never be ignorant. Never choose to be ignorant. And while that's all going on, the rest of the family, being Huey, Louie, Scrooge, and Donald, are going into a competition against Storkules, which, great, and Zeus. They meet basically a version. They meet Zeus, which at that point is basically the highest form of God they probably ever met. I'm just thinking, they met God. Huh. kind of a version. But, Zeus has a little, yeah, whatever. But yeah, they just met Zeus. Scrooge basically apparently just goes around stealing artifacts and, getting pantheons angry at him. Pegasus has a lazy eye at one point. There's a magic sword, which is awesome. Tentacle monster. A nice tentacle monster. Louie Allen. Let's see. No good. Oh, no good ever came from a creepy child. That creepy child singing at one point where there's a little child singing who has a smoker's voice. There's a bunch of really cool things. And Storkules is awesome. And I do love that Storkules basically is this... One, I do like, again, that Donald is kind of really a hero in this story. To the point to where... he was a hero back then, and even now, if you get him angry enough, that he is a hero, and I like that stuff. But I do love that Storkules is kind of the guy who's like, he's my best friend. Donald's like, I'm not his best friend, kind of thing. And then in the end, Donald's like, you're my best friend. And Storkules is like, oh, he said I was his best friend now. He admitted it. I'm just like, okay, so he's not blind. He actually does know that Donald wasn't actually saying he was his friend. It's pretty funny. And then basically. Fun episode. I liked it. Scrooge, basically just showing how awesome Scrooge is. Point where he beats a god at some stuff. And then the next episode is Beware the Buddy System. Which, mind you, the original Ducktales, I didn't really get much into back then. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing like the Batman animated series. Now, back then, it was a show that was on, but I didn't really watch all that much. I was an idiot. My taste changed. But now, if I watch the Batman animated series, I'm like, oh my god, it's so good. And I'm pretty sure if I rewatch these DuckTales, I'm pretty sure I'm going to see that it's probably a good show as well. But this was a show I never really did watch all that much. But out of all of that show, out of all the characters that I loved, the episodes that I really did like to see were all the ones with Gizmo Duck in it. Gizmo Duck was the one character I loved, and I remember trying to draw him so much because I loved the design. I loved him being a superhero. It was epic. And the other thing that I ripped another show that it was within the spin-off verse of Ducktales, or within the same multi-universe as Ducktales, was Darkwing Duck. That was another show. I liked superheroes. What can I say? Even though I just admitted I didn't watch the Batman animated series all that much. But in any case, I liked Darkwing Duck. He was one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite shows. Heck, one of my favorite video games was and it sucks as a baby broke the disc, and I was so sad and angry when that happened. But I want to rebuy it. There's a game called PK Out of the Shadows, or Peck Out of the Shadows, where you play as Donald Duck as a superhero, and that was one of my favorite games. For some reason, I like anthropomorphic duck superheroes. But in any case, I think I just love the cartooniness mixed in with superheroism. But in any case, Darkwing Duck, Gizmo Duck were two of my favorite things out of everything in the DuckTales universe. Those were the two things that really, really, I remember vividly. I barely remember any bit of the original DuckTales, but I do remember Gizmo Duck Blatherson, or whatever the fudge. And I just remember a scene where he's riding, and then you see this thing form over him. Or at one point, I think Launchpad says the name, and then he becomes Gizmo Duck for a bit, or gets the suit for a bit. I remember, I loved it. And in this episode, I got both, kind of. It opens up with a Darkwing Duck. It opens up with Darkwing Duck, fighting some bad guys. And then it turns out that's a TV show. And they say, oh yeah, he's a famous actor. Then you see this or whatnot. And it's okay, I'm guessing. I was like, oh sweet, are we getting more? I'm like, what? I was like, okay, so wait, Darkwing Duck isn't canon in this world? Okay. I'm like, fudge, wait, are we gonna... And I feel like this might be it, because they say he's a famous actor who got rough and tumble. I'm just thinking alright, I think we're gonna do the whole, Kim Possible... and it kind of sucks that Adam West is gone now. But I think we're kind of doing the whole Kim Possible kind of thing, where their version of Batman, played by Adam West, which, fudge, yeah. But where Adam West kind of went crazy in the Kim Possible universe and actually dressed up as a superhero and actually stuff like that. I feel like that's probably going to happen in this world. There's going to be something kind of similar to that. Which, mind you, if I remember correctly, again... Yeah, Launchpad is D.W.'s Launchpad is D.W.'s pilot. Which one I kind of would have loved if he would have said, yeah, I used to fly a plane for him, or it's just something along those lines. He actually was employed by D.W., which I love. Basically, in this episode, there's a car that drives itself, or a robot that drives cars, and it's run by Steve Jobs, whatever. And basically, Launchpad and the robot have to go do a whole man versus machine racing, or duck versus machine, whatever. And basically, the DW has a little figure of Launchpad has a little figure of DW. He puts on his freaking dashboard, and by God, every time he hit that thing, it was so awesome because I just love the thing. Let's get dangerous. I just freaking love it because it's every time Launchpad's about to do something awesome, he's the robot takes the kids, Scrooge, and, what's his face? Steve Jobs, and the other one, Gizmo, and, they get in the car and they're driving, and Launchpad has to save him, and he goes, "Are you ready, DW?" Hits the head of the thing, and just goes, "Let's get dangerous." And I freaking just, oh, I'm just oh yeah! God, I love that. Just that alone was so much goodness. I was like, fudge, yes. And then of course, while this car is while they're being taken out of this car, the Gizmo, the head scientist of Scrooge's company or whatever, he basically goes I need to help them. I got an idea. Blathers thing. He says it through the phone to the headless man horse, which was like, okay, that's a character I didn't think I'd see again, but all right, that's a funny joke. But says it, robot parts fly out and go straight to him, which then immediately makes me remember that then means that Gizmo Duck had this ability, unless it was in the comics, but Gizmo Duck had the ability to summon his separate armor pieces and attach to him long before Iron Man ever did. Now that I think about that, but yeah. So he does it. He turns the Gizmo Duck, which in the beginning of the episode they kind of hint at. He's like, here. Launchpad asks, like, can you give me something that'll help me drive better? He's like, oh, here, I can show you this. And they're about to show the Gizmo Duck. I'm like, oh, Gizmo Duck. And they're like, no. I'm like, boo. But then they introduce I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. Even though I would have liked if they would have left it for later on, but it's fine either way. I'm like, fuck yeah. And Gizmo Duck comes in, they freaking, him and Launchpad save the day. Freaking awesome. I love it. And also, like, the whole thing is that, Launchpad thinks that Scrooge is gonna basically replace him with the robots because Scrooge says he's gonna buy a fleet of these robots, which are actually all just the bulb robot from that one episode that turned evil and it still turns evil. And basically they use the robot. Basically, what was it? But yeah, basically that robot they win. Basically Scrooge says he's gonna buy a fleet of them until he finds out that he wants to kill them. And then I love at the end where, like, because basically the whole thing was that Launchpad got a driver's license and he wanted Scrooge to, basically praise him, but Scrooge seemed to not really care until the end. He's like, good job of getting your driver's license. Launchpad gives him a hug, being happy after like, Scrooge's gonna give him a handshake. And I like that, and so Launchpad even goes, so you're not going to fire me? He's like, fire you? Why? Where would I find another driver as crazy as I am? I'm like, I like that. That means that there is still a connection there. Scrooge, in this, I never really dislike. I love this character. Mind you, again, I've not really watched this version a lot, so... But, and FYI, I got this for Christmas. But even then, I do love the new Ducktales, so this still works either way. And I should watch the original. But, because I believe Gizmo is, or I think that's his name, or Giro? I think his name's Gizmo. He's the original, Gizmo Duck, I believe. No, not, well, yeah, I think he is. Blatherston. Yeah, it's freaking great. It's freaking great. But, I like these. I'm really, really hoping Darkwing Duck is gonna... Oh, so this is Spaceballs reference. That one where there's, like, ludicrous speed where the robot driving, like, hits it ludicrous speed. 51%. Also, when they're talking about souping up... just a quick thing. When they're talking about souping up Launchpad's car, they say... What do you want? Frictionless tires? I'm thinking cars need friction. Tires have friction to move. That's the point of tires and treads. If you have a car without treads, the lines in the wheel, the car doesn't really move or it could slide everywhere. The whole point of friction is to move. So if you have frictionless tires on it, it's going to make you a worse driver. Just a thought. But yeah, I like this. This is awesome. Also, there's a lot of shooting things out of his butt for Gizmo Duck in this episode. But anyways, I like this. It was awesome. It was cool seeing Darkwing Duck. It was cool seeing Gizmo Duck. And I definitely want to see what's going to happen next. And I'm so hoping that Darkwing Duck's going to make an actual appearance. That he actually is in this universe. If they are going to do the whole Adam West kind of thing where he's actually crazy, I hope that he does still have all his gadget stuff and he does actually become a superhero. I really, really want to see that. I want to see D.W. in this. I want to see him with his little girl. Or if anything, what would be kind of cool is still have in this universe that Darkwing Duck is in this universe or is real. And let's set like Darkwing Duck a couple more years in the past and still have his daughter and then have his daughter become the next Darkwing Duck. Have him become a legacy hero or something. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool, I think. Or heck, we can still see Darkwing Duck, and then we have his kid with Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and Webby, and like you can have her as like the cool kid, the new cool kid that Webby feels, threatened by and stuff like that. I don't know, something like that, because then she would be like kind of a cooler version of Webby, quote unquote cooler, and stuff like that. I don't know, it'd be a cliche, but I think it'd be kind of cool. But tell me what you guys in the comments below. Thanks for watching. The true videos that I've done. Links are on my face. Screen runs around there somewhere. And we will see you later. Blathering Blatherston! Yeah! I said the word earlier in the show, too, or video. So she didn't have to come